Man are talking about Pogba to Arsenal. Allow it, bro. I respect the opinion, but myth, man. Like, you're moving bad. Absolute mad. But I appreciate the opinion. What a time to be alive. Bellerin, Louise, Mustafi, Kolasinac. What a time to be. We've made it out the hood slut somewhat, but we ain't got all the way there yet, man. We ain't got all the way there yet, people. Um, so there's them things there. I wanted to speak about Una Emre as well. So what we 52-40, Una Emre, Newcastle latest. Go with that. Because again, I enjoy the conversation, people, but sometimes we have so much of a good conversation, I forget the main reason we're actually here, folks. Like I said, if you can hit the like button, even if you're not going to be here, because it does bits for the engagement. Every like gets it out there, people. Same way with this has probably been my worst month of the year in terms of engagement. We have not grown as much as we could have. Car, you man are not hitting the like button, and you couple that with the dislikers is peak for us, people. But yeah, hit the like button where that's concerned. Una Emre, the latest. Oh, why's the screen been removed? I wasn't meant to remove screen share for you guys. But Una Emre, again, just before that, people. As of last night, Newcastle believed Una Emre wanted the job and expected details to be finalized. They hoped he would meet the players Thursday PM, which is tomorrow. As of this morning, reports from Spain would suggest he's pulled out. The news that was news to some at Newcastle earlier, but phone calls being exchanged. So maybe there's a bit of pressure. Emre kind of not, he didn't play coy, but he did sort of thing. He was out here saying, I'm remaining professional. Again, he was kind of the way Emre kind of said it was like it's not as close as you think. And the Villarreal players were acting a bit coy as well. So it does feel like it can happen for him, really. And that, their league form isn't the best. So Una Emery might say, do you know what? Let's jump ship. Una Emery to reject Newcastle interest. This is courtesy of Guillaume Balaguer, though, people. Una Emery will turn down the chance to become manager of Newcastle United and will instead stay with Villarreal, according to reports from Guillaume Balaguer. As you lot know, the former Arsenal boss confirmed yesterday he had been approached by the Premier League club, and it was between him and Eddie Howe. As you can see, Eddie Howe and Pablo Fonseca still seem to be candidates because of this. Apparently, Una Emery felt a huge pressure on the day of their match, which they won 2-0 against Young Boys yesterday. And he said, and then there was a clear lack of vision from the club. If you want him, do you approach him in such a rush way without an official offer? And with it coming out from the English side that it's all practically done. And that's the thing. Again, is all the structural places at Newcastle in place? Because once you get past it, you bring in Nuno Emery, you're the full guy. They're going to say, listen, you're Mr. Europa League. You've been at Arsenal. We're fighting relegation. What's going on? Is he going to be surrounded with the best individuals? Is he going to be allowed to bring his coaching staff? Who is he going to work with in terms of a technical director or whatever? Can he work with that? Has he got PTSD from what happened at Arsenal? What is he? How does he plan on staying in the league? A lot of things. And I understand it by Emery because ultimately you got a good thing going for you at Villarreal. Could still get clipped, but he's got a good thing going for him. On one hand, I would snake Villarreal before they snake me. But on the other hand, you join a poison chalice at Newcastle. Things need to be in thingies. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to be the Mark Hughes. But big respect to Mark Hughes for what he did at City because he ran so many people could run. He ran so people could walk. But you don't want to be the fool guy because again, I wouldn't say you was a failure at Arsenal. It didn't happen. So you could say yeah, but you don't want to be a failure twice. And I think to reject the finances that will be available and the Premier League and probably the wages, bro, there must have been something really concerning. But Emery strikes me as someone very patient. He don't really get excited. He thinks long and hard, and and probably delegated. Probably had some conversations with his family, and it's not happening really. And he said, and then it went on. Also, the number of the different number and styles of candidates being considered appears to be a sign of confused vision. That was the concern to some of those involved in conversations with the club. I mean, I hear it in it. Maybe I don't know what Newcastle's philosophy is. It attacking football, staying in the league, of course. When you see Fonseca, Conte at a time, hella different guys. Certain man play defensive football, attacking football is what it is. Maybe Newcastle just want to see some sort of football, really. Pardon me. I said, I don't see this happening now this season. Maybe next year when the club structure is clearer and the vision is more defined. Going all the way down. As you lot know, people, Newcastle have previously tried to bring in Conte, looked at Xavi, looked at Jurgi Low, but they've all turned down the opportunity. And that's to go with Eddie Howe still being in the frame. And obviously, Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter's names are thrown in here and there. So that one there appears a myth, people. Yeah, right now it seems like Conte has joined Spurs, but Unai Emery will not be joining Newcastle United. So suddenly that fixture against Newcastle in December, I feel a bit more confident. We should play Ben White as a CDM. We got a good partnership with Gabriel. If he's gonna be a centre back, let him be a centre back, man. Are you worried about Laka? What's the worry, really and truly? As much as I love Lacazette, no. At least we don't have Almunia in goal, bro. Almunia should have stopped playing for Arsenal after the '06 Champions League final. How you letting Belletti's go? I don't know, man. You should have, Arsenal have a fetish for dud keepers, man. I don't know what it is, but they love it, man. Lateness is greatness. Big up DG. Big up everyone locked in, people. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, man, obviously that's Una Emre. What else is there? Aouar slash Saliba. Now, again, people, there isn't too much where Aouar is. It's mainly just me. Surely we have to move for man in January. Now, I know I saw some people on Twitter and reports saying that Arsenal are looking at going for Aouar in January. I can't see anything that is confirmed or has any confirmed reports. So I don't know. But what I would say is if you're watching the French league or Lyon, I was back again. Last season was a bit underwhelming, just like with Camavinga last year for Rennes, because he clearly wanted to keep it moving. I was back. In the Europa League, I think he's got 3 appearances in 2 games, and I think Lyon have Prague, so we might do a watch along for that. But I mean, bring the guy in. He's contracted until 2023. Lyon have shown no signs of budging, but they look like they're broken. They need money and whatnot. So this could be someone. We need a midfielder. If I'm Aouar, I'm not leaving in January because my form's good. There's a World Cup to think about if I can get in and whatnot. But we need to move heaven and earth to kind of bring him or someone else in. Aouar's started very well in France, where the French league is concerned and where the Europa League is concerned, people. His chance creation is amazing, as someone could say there. For me, it's the what's the word, man? When you just like Ronaldo and like how Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes, and I'm not saying he does it to their stature, but how they kind of define the game and decide the game sort of thing. I wouldn't say ours to that level, but he looks to try to do all of that. Like I look at the Saint Etienne game, things like that. He does well, and I think I don't think it can be done in January, but we did allegedly was close to Bruno Guimaraes. If there's a chance of our in Jan, that's something we need to do for what it's worth, people. And apparently, there's been some reports with Saliba online. With people where Saliba's concerned. Apparently, he wants to return to Arsenal and make a meal of things. He's learning English. Apparently, he will be given a chance. Apparently, Edu fucks with him a lot, and he's saying he needs to be able to do a thing. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So where is it? And apparently, ironically, and this is why I thought the rumors would start again. If Emre went to Newcastle to go with Joe Willett being there, I thought Saliba would be linked because apparently Saliba, we first heard that he wanted to, Arsenal wanted him to go on loan in France, then he didn't. We heard that Arsenal wanted him to go on loan in the Prem, and he didn't. Now these reports are saying he wanted to go to Newcastle. He was going to Newcastle, which would have been good for me to have him under the microscope. But Longoria and Sao Paulo convinced him to play and assured him he'd play a lot, considering they're in Europe and Marseille are a big club, and right now they're trying to fight for the league. Although he would favour a return to Arsenal, William Saliba would have immediately adapted to Marseille and the city of Marseille, and João Sao Paulo would be no stranger to that. Quickly becoming essential in the eyes of Sao Paulo, William Saliba is one of the players most used by the OM coach since the start of the season. What to allow decision makers to Marseille to dream of a new loan or permanent transfer? That's a myth. According to the Daily Telegraph, the priority of the French international hopeful would be to prove his worth to Arsenal on his return during the next off-season. And I mean, I would love you to get into the World Cup side or get a French cap because, I mean, Guendouzi done it. I know there's a lot of people ahead of him. Apparently, Saliba, however, would be satisfied with his experience in Marseille after more than 2 months spent in Marseille. The native of Bondy would appreciate the atmosphere of the city as well as around the club and would have immediately integrated. I mean, all right, cool. So again, a bit of an overkill there. Really, what's this? Big up LT Arsenal as well. He had something as well. I was looking at his Twitter where again, the article was in the Telegraph. Where is it? Again, from Saliba's perspective, the plan is clear. Come back to Arsenal and prove himself at last. This is his expectation and his desire as it stands. He's soon beginning a new course of English lessons to help improve his language skills. And that will help him probably get first team props more, because I do think that's one thing that maybe Arteta went against Saliba with. Gabriel, is that the English barrier. So the better you have communication, the better it is. And to be fair, I want him to come and complicate Ben White and Saliba, and Ben White and Gabriel's partnership, because again, Saliba and Gabriel, that was what we were saying. They've obviously they can speak French and things like that. And he had, again, loan report out tomorrow, people. He's had a fight, he's having a good season. He's had games where he could have done better, but the majority of games he's doing well. And yeah, like my man said here, he's in the team of, I don't really care about being in the team of the week, but it's no coincidence. He's doing what he can. He's not going to come back the finished article and be an amazing player, but he's going to come back just that bit more polished, just that bit more confident, and just ultimately that much closer to being able to hold down an Arsenal first team role. And I would love him to be, because God forbid if something happens to Ben White or Gabriel, where do we go from there? What happens there? What happens right now? Holding comes in. I back Holding because he's gone from purple patches, but is he levels? Probably not. The same goes for Chambers. Marie will probably be, I believe Marie's probably the third choice, give or take, with Holding. So it's one of them. This was an article I saw a couple of days back, and I just think it's perfect to bring it up here, people. And we all know Edu and Ben Napo were at the game to watch Marseille against PSG. Apparently, Arteta felt he was not ready for last season. It's even said that with Arteta, communication was close to nothing. And again, I don't want to make a meal of it, but I would like to see Arteta speaking with Saliba, because as a man, as a young player, it will gash you. Think about it. If I'm out of sight, out of mind, and Arsenal are doing amazing at the moment, and them defenders are doing well, and Saliba's also doing well, if I pick up the phone, if I'm Arteta, I pick up the phone and say, yo, Saliba, how's it going at Marseille, man? It's going great, innit? You're doing well. Keep working. You see what we've got here? You're back next season, or keep doing what you're doing. I'm looking. That'll give you confidence. Sometimes you might feel a bit disillusioned with what's happening. But apparently, this article's also gone on to say the English club are watching his growth closely in Liga, and apparently Edu is keeping control of his future. And Edu is playing the long game. And there were some other articles that said, Edu really rates him, and this, that, and the third, people. We're all buying into the Vlahović hype, and you can imagine Vlahović, Skriniar. I'll be surprised if them two names have not been linked with Spurs. Apparently, Vlahović is now more likely to move abroad, and Tottenham are one of the clubs interested in the Serbian. Now, maybe that's in line with, Conte moving to a 3-5-2, in which you could put Son behind Kane and Vlahović. Kane could even start in that quote unquote 10, because that's where he pulls into in the pitch anyways. Or this could be a replacement. Now, I don't know if we can do this in January, and I don't know if Florentina want to let go of him, but we've worked with Florentina before. They've got Torreira. If they can take some money, if Torreira can knock some, like a part exchange, if Torreira can knock some millions off that, I think he's someone worth going for, man. He scored a hat-trick the other day. Not the quickest, but when he runs, he's difficult to break stride. General play can improve, but I think his general play is very good. Has an eye for goal, is a quick thinker. He makes his decision. Lacazette's not the most prolific, but I think I like Lacazette because he thinks quickly in the box. Like, he'll see a shot and do it. I think Vlahović has that, and he's got the showmanness, and the way he carries himself at 21 is scary. And when you look at his background, he's from Serbia. Them man, they're more serious. They can, there's an air of seriousness about how they behave and how they carry on. And obviously, due to geopolitical things, historically, adaptation has been a necessity of people that typically come from Eastern regions and whatnot. As you see with Granit Xhaka in Switzerland, and his Albanian heritage and whatnot, among other things. So I think he's got it all in it. But if they're interested, we should be. Apparently, Juventus want him as well. Apparently, this article's reported that it will now be difficult for Vlahović to leave Fiorentina in January. Both the player and his agents prefer to leave him only in the summer, as it would benefit all parties involved. Juventus are an unlikely option as things stand, and that's because of the finances involved. Apparently, it's also less likely to sell another player to Juventus. Because of that, it's worth keeping an eye on the options of Vlahović, as Tottenham are firmly on him. So for me, whether you can get Vlahović, whether it's Isaac, my first thing would be Karim Adeyemi. But you got to get someone in it. Like, you got to get someone. I'm starting to buy into Jonathan David a bit more. Not really convinced yet. Need to see a real purple patch from him. Vlahović is there as well. There's probably a couple other men that you lot would throws hats you would throw into the ring. Vlahović latest. So yeah, it is what it is where they're concerned, people. Leave to return next season. Sorry, folks. Let me make sure the timestamp is there. 106. let's say 106.54. I think that was when I looked up and glanced. Doesn't she look pretty? All of them timestamps, people. Doesn't it? Maybe the document doesn't look pretty, but don't it look pretty, people? It's all there for you lot. Don't it look pretty? Name another YouTuber who cares about you lot. What happened to Dominic Calvert-Lewin? That's a shout. Could be on it, but for me, I'm not really on it. Like, I like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but I would, again, I don't think we can get any of them, but I would rather explore what could be done with Isak, explore what could be done with Kareem Adeyemi, which that's gone. Aouar and Odegaard as bench options would be sick. Aouar comes, he starts for this team, but the over reliance on Xhaka. Big up DJ. I can't lie. Arsenal fans should be a little worried about Spurs showing a lot of ambition with disappointment. They showed it with bringing in Jose. Them getting Conte pretty much certain them finishing above us this year, in my opinion. Wheezy probably, but nothing's a given in this life. Jose was a serial winner. It was assured he'd win something at Spurs until that happened. The Newcastle job is fucked. The PR is already peaked with everyone stating the first manager is just a stopgap. Why would anyone want that role? Boy, I don't know, man. I would play him in this. I'd play him next to Partey, really, but he could play across them options. They are still in debt. We could get him for the same price quoted in the summer, maybe cheap. You probably could, but if I find it, Leon, to spend money, there was an article on the same. What's it? Get French News. Get French Football. Leon or Ulas. He said they're still going to spend money, man. Where is it? Yeah, look here. I found it. So in relation to Aouar, and again, I just glance readed this, so I don't know people, but we know Leon are broke, as you said. That's why we should be able to. But Olas confirms January spending plans. In his words, transcribed in L'Equipe, Olas has indicated that he is unsure as to whether Les Gomez will be able to resist offers for their own play. I mean, like I said, I never read this, and you're gassing me more, but it feels too good to be true. So like, they look like they're broke people. Apparently, whether Las Gomez will be able to resist offers, well, Lyon will be able to resist offers for their own players. Has stated that only those who want to leave will do so. Is Aouar going to force the boat out in January is another thing. The president went on to explain that the plan is to sign players in January, but that he's not necessarily convinced of the need to do so. And apparently, this notably with a view towards Jeffrey Adley's return from injury and the possibility of several youngsters from the academy. In any case, Ulas has explained that directors Juninho and Vincent have met and the plans will be made in January. It's also announced that the club had lost a net of 107 million euros over the course of last season with a shortfall of 150 M's. That's a first since the club's ownership of the new stadium since 2016 or of the stadium. Ulas also went on to express his confidence in the manager, Peter Bros. So it is what it is. But when something feels too obvious or too likely to happen, there's an issue. When's the next FM stream, bro? Today at 3 p.m. It's only going to be a little hour one, though, man. So, yeah, Twitch. And to be fair, I should be able to thingy. I meant to, if you've missed a couple of others, I'm not going to really, should I bring out both them episodes? 2 o'clock, probably 3 o'clock. One of them, the rerun will be on YouTube. And again, there'll be a next one, 3 till 4, quickly on Twitch. Then it's 5:20 for the Champions League watch along. And then, yeah, we're back here at 7:45, people. Yeah, so make sure you're here for all of that stuff. Really and truly appreciative to everyone who's locked in at this moment in time. Hit the like button, set your reminders if you haven't done such as already, people. I appreciate you guys. And again, and no clue why it's taking the same title as the live stream we're currently on, but yeah, that's the FM content I could bring out. Shall I drop some exclusives? What happened in this one? Hey, Newcastle win. We played Spurs. Yeah, let me stop. I'm going to ruin it for you lot. But yeah, you know where to be. Make sure you're checking out the FM playlist for all of that content stuff, man. So yeah, it is what it is. After yesterday's game, I'll take Zapata. He works very hard, man. Zapata would frustrate like Pepe. He's lost the ball so many times and did not release it when the player was on or for a 1-to-1. Bro, Isaac's a baller, but people gas it. He scored some important goals, but people gas it. Bro, people are hypocrites because they'll scream Farmers League. France is a Farmers League. And, the best player ever is struggling there right now. And, the other best player ever is excelling in the Premier League. What does that mean? And Obviously, you could still say a league hasn't got quality, but it's got quality players. But is it really a farmers league? It's day in, day out, week in, week out, season in, season out. Whether you support Arsenal, United, or whatever, when you're talking about players to sign, I'm pretty sure at least one of the names you're throwing out there or two, it's 9 times out of 10 people that are playing in France and whatnot. So take off that what you will, man. A cup and top 6 or out honestly has no excuses. I would say top 6. I wouldn't say a cup as well. I would like a proper run in the FA Cup and whatnot and try and get to the final. And obviously, where the Cat Yarabel Cup is concerned, you've got a good opportunity. You can't sleep on Sunderland, but you've been dealt a good hand in that regards, people. It's one of them ones, really. If I'm completely honest with you. Yeah. I believe Saliba hasn't played a match in 2 years, man. It's what it is, though. Big up everyone locked in. Is there any other Arsenal news? Let me type in Arsenal online and see what happens, man. It's a shame we don't play twice, Ivy. I mean, Cess has reacted. Oh, we've been linked with Asensio. Oh God. Again, I think we can cover that as well. Asensio. That was actually something I meant to speak about yesterday. But we're gonna get linked with Real Madrid, tired Real Madrid players every week, innit? Like I like Asensio a lot. Clearly, it hasn't worked out for him at this moment in Real Madrid. I don't know if Carlo Ancelotti wants to get rid, but we're gonna get linked with a lot of Real Madrid players, and here, there, everywhere. After obviously signing Odegaard and us having that sort of thing. Let me scroll all the way down to where it's talking about Asensio, people, and share the screen with you guys. Again, I don't know if this is true things, but Gunners face battle for Asensio. Liverpool. Listen, they keep recycling this rumor. Us and Liverpool. Liverpool and Arsenal are battling it out to sign Real Madrid midfielder Marcus Asensio, according to reports in Spain. As you know, the 25-year-old has done well to recover from 2 serious knee injuries. Apparently, the Spanish international is no longer a regular fixture of the first team setup under Carlo Ancelotti and could seek an exit in January after just making 3 starts. Obviously, with that being said, you got a World Cup. Apparently, this article has claimed that Arsenal and Liverpool are both keen on the Spaniard, but face competition from Borussia Dortmund. Apparently, Vlahović favors Juventus move over Arsenal and Spurs, as you can see there. A Brazilian starlet, Yuri Alberto, who we've been linked with prior, reveals he has a dream for England, people, and he dreams of playing in Europe. Well, better yet, really. So he said every player dreams of one day playing in Europe in a big league. I'm very happy at Inter. I love this club, the way the fans have welcomed me. Everyone has been wonderful, but I do dream of going to Europe, people. And what's all of this? We could never be linked with Declan Rice. You lot gotta be smoking moon rocks. We were linked with Danny Ceballos return yesterday. Oh, Piers Morgan talking about who we should sign. Definitely locking that off, people. So with that, I think that's the transfer business done. Pardon me. Crazy. For extra content, make sure you're following me on Twitch. Appreciative to those of you who have done that already. Bro, I'm French and I watch Liga. I would not trade it for any league in Europe apart from the Premier League. No more Real Madrid rejects, please. I don't know, man, about that. Big up DG. I just want Saliba to come back and force the issue. I just think there's a disconnect between Arteta and Saliba. Listen, I don't think Levy's going to flop. I just don't think it's a given that there's going to be success. I think it's 98% likely that I'm shook of him, but there's a lot to do at Spurs. And, it's not, like I said, it's not a Debo thing. Bro, Danny Ceballos, you know what? Out of desperation, I'll take him back. But again, desperation. I said it there, desperation. If you're doing things out of desperation, it's brazy. 246 likes, people. Keep running that up. I appreciate everyone who has hit that like button thus far. There actually isn't anything from an Arsenal perspective to continue about, really. If I haven't mentioned it, Saliba is learning English. In fact, there is actually. There is actually. 16, 30. Oh, shit. That's not easy. That's not easy spell. 34. Aziz. Return from Pompey loan. Again, not more twists and turns, bumps and bruises where that one there is concerned, people. I don't necessarily, I think when you loan out young players, right? you need to get game time. You need to play. So if you're not playing, there should always be you should always want to bring a man back and things. But I also think when you look at Aziz in League One with Portsmouth, when you look at Billy Gilmore, I do think, especially when you're academy players, you do become a bit privileged. You do not that these lot, not that I'm not saying Miguel Aziz or Billy Gilmore think that anybody owes them anything, but I just think you become a bit privileged. And I do think anytime there's a bit of adversity, people just want to lift you up out that situation and loan you elsewhere. Which again, we loaned him out to play games. If he's not playing, we should look to do that. But at the same time, when you're going through adversity, when a manager is not playing you, when you might not fit the system, there's a lot that you need to learn and take on, because a footballing career is never going to just be that. You know, everybody at Arsenal loves Miguel Aziz. Respectfully, I'm sure they got love for him at Portsmouth, but they don't care. Are you ready to play right now? You know, the fans, he's only played 59 minutes where he needs to be recalled. But the fans care. They don't care. You know, we want to get promoted or whatever we're doing. You're an Arsenal midfielder. We need to see certain things. There's no romance behind it. Everyone's not telling you how good you are. And I think as well, obviously, when you're playing senior football, certain things that you could do without thinking at 23's level, you do that in the senior game. It might not be that story, people. But apparently, Arsenal are considering recalling Miguel Aziz from his loan spell at Portsmouth due to a lack of game time. As you know, he's an impressive player and whatnot, people. You know, and he's worked on his physicality and his marking, and you know, it ain't really worked. He probably stood a better chance of maybe just sitting around Arsenal's first team and seeing what could happen there. And obviously, at the time, he needed to go on loan. There's no Europa League. He wouldn't have got opportunities and things like that, especially with how the team's going. So we hope it works out. Apparently, the Pompey boss has responded, though. Danny Crowley has dismissed suggestions Arsenal are unhappy over Portsmouth handling of Miguel Aziz. Oh, that's a bit of an L. I wasn't looking at the screen all this time. I thought you lot were seeing what I was seeing. But here it is anyways, people. And Portsmouth, again, you know, they need to stay in. They need to, I don't know where Portsmouth are in the league, but where is it? Oh, why has that come off there? They haven't got time for none of this. Like, they haven't got time to just develop Miguel Aziz. They have to think about what's going on. Like, I'm flinging up Portsmouth at this moment in time. Why did this come off the screen? You know, where are Portsmouth in the league table? Well, Portsmouth are 14th, 5 games, 1 win. I can't lie to you. When your team's form is on the floor, people should get opportunities. So Miguel should have probably got a look in. But at the same time, you can't sit there and say, oh, Miguel is his show. There's pressure on the club. There's pressure on the manager. This is what real life is about in football terms. He's only played 1 game, so it's dead, people. And obviously last night, again, loan report, he got to play against Cheltenham Town. I don't know how many minutes he played. He features for 17 minutes, people. So not really that much, people. Got more game time away with England and stuff like that. Apparently, Crowley has hit back and he's adamant the Premier League giants are fully on side with Miguel. And again, he might play a lot more in the second half of the season. But he said, I thought Miguel was bright against Cheltenham last night. He has worked really hard on his game behind the scenes. It's so different to the football he knows. Exactly, because Miguel Aziz is very much an Arsenal midfielder. Like, he's very much an Arsenal midfielder. Like, the DNA, that's an Arsenal midfielder, which is great. But when you move him away, it's not really that. It's not really a that thing. So he has to learn these things. He has to be able to deal with the physical demands of League One, playing consistently, the intensity, the combativeness, all of these things he said. You know, he's been trying to build up physically, build his intensity and combativeness. He earned it last night. Rico was tired, and it was an opportunity for him to come in and impact the team. There's been no issues with Arsenal. We speak to them regularly. We have very good dialogue with them and a very good relationship. They know we are working really, really hard with Miguel, and I think they believe this has been a brilliant loan for him to this point. One where he's probably learned a lot more than at 23's level, but brilliant's probably extending it. They trust me and know we are desperate for Miguel to be a success here. That's why we brought him in. We are also respectful that he's only a young boy, 19, and has never played this level of football before. He's just learning and working out how he can use his skill set and be effective at this level, people. As you know, he's been given permission by his parent club to feature for Portsmouth in the FA Cup against Harrow Borough on Saturday, and we hope he plays. Obviously, with that being said, that probably would rule him out for if he did return. And again, Miguel Aziz will get there. Physically, he needs to work on a lot. Technique, for me, looking at Miguel Aziz, I think people gas it a bit too much. Like, physically, he's got to work on a lot. He needs to do things quicker. Things that can be done in 5, things that can be done in 2 touches. Can you do them in 2 or 1? Don't take 4. He is a bit blinkered. To play in the middle of the park, you need to be switched on. He's improved defensively, but he's slacked there. These are things I expect. And obviously, the physical demands of playing under 23s to playing first team football week in, week out, which he hasn't been doing, you need to adapt. And obviously, the training's probably different. So there's a lot. I think he'll come good, man. But it is what it is. That's Miguel Aziz. I still think he has a future at Arsenal. But again, you know, you need to go through these tough moments. It